Good morning and welcome to Coffee with the Colors. I'm Father Jesse and I'm joined with...
Father James.
And I just wanted to talk to you about this time. It's a special time in which a lot of priests are getting ready to go on their retreat. Time to get away and to refocus on ministry. What's your way of approaching a retreat?
Well, retreats are really important. As Catholic priests, we're actually required to take a 5-day retreat every year for the health of our souls and for the health of our bodies. So if you go back to the very beginning, Jesus himself, the very first thing he did when he started his ministry was he spent 40 days in the desert. He retreated. He got out of the busyness of life so that he could be completely available to God. And it's interesting, he went to the desert. Pope Benedict has this beautiful way of talking about the desert, that when you go out to the desert, it's the place of the infinite. You can see forever. You can't hide behind anything. There's nothing to hide behind when you're out in the desert. So the idea of retreat is to retreat away from the things that take your attention so that you can be completely available to God and what he needs to say to you. So everybody needs to have retreat. And in fact, you could argue that Mass is a retreat. You walk across the threshold of the narthex, you're in the narthex, and so you're kind of already away from your everyday life, but then you walk into the main church, and it should be when you walk in that this is an oasis, a spiritual oasis that helps you to let go of what's going on out there in the world and really focus on the presence of God. So you just got back from your retreat.
I did.
So what were some of the fruits that came about from this pulling away from the everyday?
Well, first is rest. Simply, if you can't have a good spiritual life without having proper rest and refreshment and eating well, but then this time of silence to kind of meditate. Where was God in my ministry over this past year, and where is he calling me to grow and to be a better person? And so that's kind of the things that I took away from my retreat. And, it's something here at St. Louis, we have plenty of opportunities for retreats. We have ACTS, we have CRESPA, and many other different ministries that kind of get us in that mindset of taking us away from the normal everyday life, focusing on where is the presence of God, where is he working, and where is he inviting us to do more.
Yeah, one of the components to that, there's no way that we're ever going to know what God wants from us unless we're listening to God.
Correct.
And sometimes when people ask me, hey, Father James, tell me about prayer. How would you explain prayer? Really, when you think about it, rosaries are awesome. We should always pray the rosary. And in the morning and evening prayer, the prayers that Father Doug and Father Jesse and I promise to pray as priests, these are really important prayers. But maybe before those prayers get said, the most important prayer is actually listening. Listening to what God has to say. This is what retreat is really about. To just kind of take a step back, to stop talking, and to just be aware of the presence of God. And everybody needs to have that in their lives. Those of us who live in the city, we should still live lives like monks. A monk in a monastery, what do monks do in monasteries? They pray, they listen, they work, they pray, they listen, they work. So even those of us who are in the city, in active lives, should always have these little moments of retreat so that we can hear what God has to say to us.
Begins before you even start your day. You just began with that time of silence, or at the end of the day, if you want to finish that way, that moment of silence to recollect and to recall. Yeah. That's a great way to move forward. So thank you for joining us with Coffee with the Colors. We hope that you consider this. Take some time away to pray, to center yourself, to find where God's presence is so that we can always be faithful to his will. We look forward to seeing you back here at St. Louis Catholic Church. Take care.